Manic Noize.
Hello listeners, I'm Douglas Harvey and this is the Manic Noize podcast. This week I caught up with a super interesting guest. Her name is Simone Springer. Simone has just released a novel titled In the Rouge, and it follows the life of a fictional burlesque store owner. She's got a lot of experience in that world to draw from, as she operates a store called Burlesque Baby, an online goth store called Mame Clothing, and on top of that, she's a radio host and a comedian. She's just one of those people that's way too fucking good at too many things. We spoke about her time as a private investigator, her brand new book, working in the burlesque and goth scenes, facing issues like anxiety, and even a lady who loves to chew on dirty diapers. Yep, what a fucked up world this is. Okay guys, strap yourself in for a bloody great chat with the hilarious Simone Springer.
Podcast initiation sequence. Headphones. Check. Beer status. Cold and tasty. Check. Penis function. Hard, but unimpressive. Check. Podcast initiation complete. Warning. This episode may cause brain damage. Manic Noize.
Okay, I'm here with Simone Springer. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Okay, as always, I like to start the show off with a clip. And being somebody with kids, I'm sure you're going to love this.
I'm worried.
So let's rock and roll.
New York, baby.
She's living
My
it
name is
large.
Keisha, and I'm expecting my first child,
You poor thing.
and I love sniffing and chewing dirty diapers.
What?
Yeah, you didn't mishear that.
Oh no!
It has to have pee in it. It has to have pee in it. The heavier ones that have more pee smell better.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
This one's soft.
Where's she getting these
I love it. It
diapers?
just tastes
That's
amazing.
what I want to talk
I
about.
have one while I'm cooking in the kitchen. I have one in my drawers. I have one while I'm sleeping.
Oh my god.
I
Oh
keep
my
some
god,
in
she's
my
got a mouth on.
trunk. I keep some in my pocketbook. No, for real. This is good. Hold on. Okay, continue.
Messed up, man.
I know.
Like, you know when you're walking into a room and you smell like a strong smell like food and you could kind of taste it? That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So-
that is so messed up.
So that's the point. You brought up the exact thing I was wondering.
Like, where's she getting these diapers?
She's expecting her first child,
Yeah.
and she has a collection of dirty diapers.
So where the hell is she paying in them herself? Is she
got
stealing
a
them
friend?
from friends? And what kind of friend would be like, yeah, sure, you can have my kids use diaper? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, but if I knew someone was going to chew
Smell
on a
them,
diaper,
chew on them?
I would pee in a diaper and give it to them because that's great material. So I
Just
totally
to see
do
them
that.
do it. Oh.
So have you ever looked at a nappy and gone, I'm going to snack on that?
Fuck no.
No.
Like no.
Oh.
It's funny too because like my youngest is still in nappies at night time.
Yeah.
And like when they come off, it's like super duper like heavy and stuff. And I'm
Oh,
always like,
yeah.
I'm like, you are too old for this. Like no, I don't dig diapers in
No?
any way, shape or form.
I
Nah.
think that's healthy. I have a feeling this girl might
Oh
be
my
the
god,
amount-
am I normal right now? I'm
well,
so normal.
yeah, by comparison at least, yeah.
Thanks. Refreshing.
So yeah, I just thought that'd be a good way to start it for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought you'd
that's
enjoy that. I thought you might find a new hobby.
Look, I gotta be honest. That shit's gonna stay with me a while.
Good.
I'm gonna need to send some people that clip.
Well, you know where you can send some of your kids used nappies. They'll get
Make
she's-
some extra money on the side.
Well, rather-
it reminds me of the Japanese. You know the Japanese how you can buy like in Japan you can buy
Yeah.
used underwear like through vending machines.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can have a vending machine with used nappies.
I think you could. Yeah.
I think-
And also, you're doing your bit for the environment. Like, it's not just going into landfill. Someone's enjoying it, reusing it, reuse,
I don't know.
repurpose.
Using it as that's a messed up fetish, really. Like, oh.
Yeah. It doesn't appear to be sexual though, which
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
true.
That doesn't really make it any better. But
just drawn
I
to
wonder if when she actually gets one with baby's piss and like a baby shit is horrendous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in those early days where it's like 100% liquid.
Yeah.
Like they poo upwards.
Yeah.
Like it defies, baby poo defies the laws of physics.
Yeah.
Like
it's like some sort of poltergeist shit.
Yeah, it is.
I remember
Heads
when
are
my
spinning, there's like stuff coming out of every orifice. Yeah.
Well, I remember being 3 and my baby sister coming home from the hospital, and I ran in. I was so excited to have a little sister. My head was just about the height of the change table, and I'm standing there not knowing what was going on. They dropped the diaper, I nearly said, dropped the nappy down, and then the first, post-birth shit or whatever came out. And to this, I ran out and was just, and to this day, I remember that from being 3.
I'm like the worst mum. Like as soon as like I had my second baby, I knew I didn't have to have any more kids. I had no plans on having more kids. I forgot all of that stuff. I forgot that first poo is like black tar.
Ugh.
It's like black tar. That's what you would have seen.
Yeah.
Their first.
Yeah, and I remember it.
It's the death poo.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying to you before, I saw you do comedy, and you did a really good set at the Bassendean, and I went home and spoke to my fiance, and I said, hey, we had this girl up that I haven't seen before. Her name's Simone. She's got a store called Burlesque Baby. And she said, oh yeah, Simone Springer. And I went, how do you know her name? And she says, oh, I've been following her on Facebook. I was like, why? How have you come? She's just an interesting person from the, and obviously Tisha's into the goth scene and
I've been around
that clothing
time,
and, she's been to Sin and Incursion, all those sort of events over the years. But it was interesting to me that to me, you're just somebody that had just come up on the stand-up scene, and I'm like, oh, cool, new person that's funny, that's always good.
Yeah, new to comedy, but not new in Perth.
Exactly.
I've been around a long time. Yeah, so I started Mame, the gothic clothing shop, in 2014.
Yep.
So it's been like 13 years I've been doing it. So
2004 or 2014?
4. Where am I?
I thought your maths was a bit fucked there.
What day is it today? What planet am I on?
Who knows?
No, it's 2004.
4,
so
all right, cool. That makes more sense.
13
Jesus,
years.
all right.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not really a big customer of burlesque wear and things like that.
Yeah,
I enjoy looking at.
You have a cool grotesque hat on right now.
I do. That's
though.
a start. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my fiance is right into it, and obviously I enjoy looking at her in it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely a fan, but it's not a world that I've really been involved in. Like, how did you get
into that?
Yeah. Like, what
Alright,
was it? Something you wanted to do forever? And
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
So it was basically I studied youth work actually.
Okay.
And then I moved to Melbourne, so I got my diploma, whatever.
Yep.
Moved to Melbourne, and I guess I started getting into the goth scene in like my early 20s, and I loved all of this style clothing, and then moved back to Perth, and there was nothing here.
Yep.
So it was literally like my dad's been in business his entire life, and I kind of thought, maybe I can wholesale this. Contacted companies. I lived in an apartment in the city, kind of when I was typing, writing to to companies, being like, I'm based in Perth, WA. Kind of sounds like I have a shop. Didn't lie. But
I know what
basically, so I started online with Mame.
Yep.
And when I had enough stock, I opened the shop. Loved it. It was like a little hallway. I moved into that location the year the building turned 100.
Cool.
I got a whole ghost store and everything. It's swell. But yeah, so I enjoyed being there, and then there was all this really amazing stuff that I could order in, and it just wouldn't fit into Mame. So there was another shop up the road that became available, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to open a second shop so I could have the two.
Yep.
And I was super goth at the time, I used to wear PVC during daytimes.
Yep.
Black lipstick,
yeah.
big boots, and and I had to stop wearing that, which was hard because I'd finally had total freedom where I'm like, I'm my own boss, I can do whatever I want, and then I was like, but I can't look like this for the people that are in Burlesque Baby.
Okay.
So I had to tone it down, and now I've kind of come to a happy medium. So depending on the day, like now I'm like, today I'm kind of a little bit probably rock,
yeah,
rock chick, lace top with the jeans and the leather looked jacket because I'm vegan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the worst kind of person.
All right.
And I told you, did I tell you in the first 5 minutes? Fuck, 7 minutes.
All
No,
right.
close. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my long, boring story to Burlesque Baby.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I'm still doing it.
So what were you doing before that? So you said you were private investigator.
I was a private investigator. Yeah. So I moved to Melbourne.
Yep.
I had my diploma, and at the time, you couldn't get a job in youth work unless you were 25. It was a whole thing. They didn't want youth working with youth because basically there were people being corrupted. I don't know. That was just the thing. You couldn't get a job. And so I got to Melbourne, kind of flicked through like TAFE guides and stuff, and I found there was like a investigative services. Okay. And I was like, that sounds interesting. Yeah. And then I found out you could be a PI, and I was like, hell yes. So I did like, I think it was a 6-month course. And then when I finished, my lecturer said to me, he's like, every time like I finish, a course, I always recommend one person, to get a job. Mm-hmm. And this time it's you. Cool. Do you want me to introduce you to the company that I then worked for? And yeah, so it was basically, I just jumped straight into it. So I did surveillance. It wasn't, so it was.
Surveillance of what?
Of people. I got paid to stalk people, basically. Most of the jobs were like for work cover.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was. But there were other jobs. The first ever job that I did was with a guy who, he wasn't with this company, but he said that he needed a second investigator on it. So he was in his car, and he's like, I want you to be on foot, because the guy was working in the city. Okay. And I was like, okay, yeah, no worries. So I'm on foot, and this guy comes out. I recognize him from the picture, and he starts running. So like, he's a jogger. So this motherfucker booked me, purposely was like, I want you to be on foot, and didn't tell me I was expected to run. So I'm wearing boots and had to like chase this guy. And not just that, like, you can't let them know that you're running after him. So I'm waiting for him to go around corners and doing sprints. And let me tell you, at the time I was like smoking as well. So I was like, and I didn't lose him, got him all the way to the train station that time. And then the other guy took off, and he was like, oh, if he went on this train, I know he'll be headed home. So he went to pick him up from the train station, like not pick him up, but watch him from that point on. I did it twice with him. The second time I wore sneakers because I knew he was going to have to run. And he went to the Crown, which was great because the guy just ended up parked his car, came in and just bought me drinks, which is fantastic. But yeah, so the reason why this job was interesting.
The guy who was surveilling bought you drinks?
No, of course not. No. The guy I was working with.
I was going to say, that's high level.
That would be insane.
Like James Bond shit.
Fuck yeah. No, I'm not. My aim was not to sleep with anybody.
No, I didn't mean that. I just meant like if you managed to get that close and get bought drinks while you're also being paid in the first place.
Yeah. I'm not that clever. But no, so the reason why this one was so interesting was because we were following this guy because he, the client who had booked him was she's a prostitute. Okay. And she'd started dating one of her clients. Her clients then they broke up. Okay. He started stalking her, and she had like one of those like restraining orders, whatever, against him. And she was like, I'm pretty sure he's breaking it to like spy on me, whatever, when I'm at home. Okay. So we were watching him to see whether or not he was going to her house, which he never did. So
you had to stalk someone to see if they were stalking someone?
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting.
So many levels. Then the rest were all, so that was my introduction, and I was like, this is a seamy game. Yeah. Like, and then it was just all work cover mainly. Yeah. Yeah.
But why did you have to run after the guy?
Because we couldn't lose him. And he was running.
What do you mean lose him?
Like, you can't lose sight contact.
What was his... Did you know where he lived? Like, what was his deal?
Yeah, you know where he lives, but we didn't know if he was going to go to her house. We didn't know. So you have to watch him to see where he's going.
I see. Yeah. Okay. I thought this was like a work cover thing where you had to see if he was off because he said he had a broken leg, but he was out going for sprints.
No,
Okay,
this
that
guy was the one. Yeah,
oh, right.
yeah.
Okay. Oh. You probably would have been more interesting if you got to surveil the hooker.
Yeah,
probably would have seen some interesting people come in and out of there.
You know what? I don't need to know.
Yeah, probably would have seen my housemate, to be fair.
There's some things I'd rather just not know.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you know what they also do? They do get investigators that go in, the massage parlours to know whether or not they're actually doing...
The rub and tug?
Yeah, whether or not there's any happy endings. And let me tell you, there are plenty of investigators who get those happy endings and then report them.
That's well played.
Yeah. They get paid by, I think it's government. I don't know.
How have I job?
Obviously didn't do that job, but this is just the things that I get told from other people, and I'm like, whatever.
I'm in the wrong line of work. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, I'm changing nappies on kids with disabilities, so...
That's quite a fair way. You'd be better off doing, eating some diapers like the...
Some of those, Jesus Christ. Like one kid I work with ate a whole rubber glove, and we didn't know till he shut out the whole rubber glove.
Oh my God.
An entire rubber glove. And the first day, we didn't realise how bad his autism was, so we sat him down with some colouring pencils, and he ate the pencil.
Dang.
Yeah. But great kids, I love it.
Yeah.
So how did you get into writing your book?
Books? Well, I studied that while I was in Melbourne too, actually, novel and script writing while I was over there.
Cool.
So that was like, 14 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And then, so I've always been writing, but this was the first time that I finished, well, no, actually I've finished another one, but I loved it enough that I'm like, okay, this is what I share with the world. Like,
cool.
It's, it's hard. I think like I've had shitty self-esteem for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like putting your writing out there is putting a piece of yourself out there ready like for people to judge.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. Like it's that I held back because I'm like, I don't want to do this. And finally I got to a place in my life I'm like, what do I care? I'm like in my 30s now. If someone doesn't like it, they don't like it. But as I was writing it, I had two of my friends that were reading it chapter by chapter asking for more, and I'm like, look, they loved it. They asked me to, they're like, write another one. So I'm literally up to the third book now. And and so I'm like, if a couple of people liked it, surely more people might like it. And so far, like the feedback's been really good. So I'm totally happy that I did it. Even if like there was one other person who liked it, I would have been like, that was worth it.
Well, the funny thing, like I played in bands and we released our album and we'd send it out for reviews, and we get one review saying 8.5 out of 10. And listing a bunch of reasons why it was awesome. And then the next review would say 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it would list the same attributes for why it wasn't awesome. And it just became funny to me.
Yeah.
Because the styles are too eclectic, there's too many vocal styles, all this sort of stuff.
And then someone else is like, it's great, it has amazing vocal styles.
It's very eclectic, and it was the exact same things.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, if people are listening to it or whatever it is, or reading it, and they enjoy it, then exactly what you said. If one person enjoys it, then they're going to tell somebody else they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that's how shit happens.
And at the end of the day, I write anyway. So the difference is someone else gets to read it because I'm going to be writing. I've been writing anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't. It feels good that I finally put something out there, and the second one should be out before December. So in the same series. So that's being edited now. So
it's a novel based on a store owner in the Burlesque community?
It is. So, well, not exactly. So it's it's about Franca. She's a store owner, and she's pretty much a very quiet, like field mousey type person. But her store's failing, and one of the girls who works with her points out this brand by a famous like burlesque and pin-up model.
Okay.
And she decides to try and stock this brand. Betty Rouge, she's the other main character. She flies over to promote the brand basically.
Okay.
But everything isn't what it seems.
All right.
So like it's kind of like Franca's journey of finding out what's going on, and like an odd friendship story between the two of them. And so like obviously there's more to come because there's
nice.
Up to the third book. So it's all about those two characters. It's mainly a friendship story, but it's a story of growth. It's the actual, like, it's called the Betty Rouge series, but Frank is the protagonist, and she is by far the main character. But Betty likes the limelight, so got to put her name on it.
I like it when people take their personal experiences and put a twist on it. You know, the whole is art imitating life or life imitating art. So obviously you've got experience in that world.
I do,
and
but those characters are definitely not me.
Oh no, but you would have had distributors rip you off. You would have bought shit that was terrible. You would have spent money on products that were supposed to be...
Oh, buddy, you are spot on now.
The dog's bollocks, and then they turn up and they're all fucked.
And that's exactly how the book starts. Is like what's going through with Franca and
So I'm writing a book, and it's taking way longer than it should, but it's called... at the moment, it's called Hitting the Bottom, Making It Up Shit Creek Without a Paddle. And it's about having a nervous breakdown and basically just not killing myself, essentially. And it's really...
So is it you?
No, it's not a novel. It's true.
Bio,
It's not... I'm not interesting enough to talk about my entire life, but some chunks of my life have been really fucking interesting. Like, I was a key witness on a murder trial. I had to turn one of my best friends in for murder.
Holy shit.
Had a nervous breakdown, lost everything, ended up in the nut house.
Was that after that?
Yeah.
No wonder. That's like...
Yeah.
Without enough proper support, that's going to break you.
Well, and also, you know, it was... The circumstances, it was supposed to be a murder-suicide. She wanted to die, wanted him to take her life. She'd asked her ex to kill her, family members. Why no one got her help, I'll never fucking know. But in the end, it ended up happening. So it was just a really sad story. It's not like he... It's not like he was this malicious, evil...
That's really complicated.
And the irony is, if I went home and beat my fiancée to death tonight because dinner was cold and I killed her by accident, I'd get 7 years. But because he intentionally took someone's life who wanted to end their life, he got 15.
Wow.
So
premeditated, that's why.
It's intent.
Fuck.
His intent wasn't to hurt her, it was to, you know. But, you know, things like that, but that's shaped me as a person.
Yeah.
And that's why I do comedy. The day I got out of the psych ward for the last time, because I was in and out for a year, I went and saw Steve Hughes, the comedian, and I just went, I want to do that. And fuck, the shit you see in there, like, so much material. Like, it's fucking, it's literally insane. Yeah. You know, in both.
Well, you just have to, like, think to yourself, though, you're strong enough to make it out of there.
Oh, exactly.
Like, that's really good. Like, I met you and would never have been like, that kid, he's definitely been inside. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? People
don't
assume that. You should be proud of yourself.
But it just is. Everyone's got their struggles. That just was my patch of shit, you know. I never got molested or beat. I never got molested. I was going to say I never got beat up, but
and you're like, oh fuck, I did.
Yeah.
Only it's just a minor. Beating. It's all good.
Never mind. Wasn't that bad by comparison. Oh look, there's a guy moving a fridge up the middle of the road.
Wouldn't you love to know if like that's just somebody like stealing a fridge?
I hope so.
That'd be amazing. Imagine if you just stole like a whole house, like, and made it look like removalists. Just moving.
Well, I knew some guys that...
Hey, is that my fridge? No.
They had fridge out the back, and the neighbours' teenagers would jump over and steal their beer. So they kept a bunch of bottles and pissed in them all and put them in the fridge.
So brutal.
Hey, that's awesome. Fuck them. They're going to come steal your drinks. They deserve that. That's such a great idea.
Oh, that is absolutely brutal. Yeah. Well, I guess they would learn a valuable lesson. And hey, apparently urine has some really good things in it.
Yeah.
You know, the Buddhists, I think, Buddhist monks who drink their own pee?
Yeah.
Their morning pee has...
Yeah, the morning one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's any science to that. I've heard the same thing.
I think no matter what the science was, it's still going to taste like piss.
Well... But then compare it to tequila. I've drunk some horrible alcohol over the years.
Yeah, I don't drink
I used to drink
tequila.
4X. Oh.
Yeah.
That's basically horse piss gone cold.
As a teenager, I drank EB. You know, tinnies.
I like EB.
That tastes like tin.
I like EB.
Ah, there you go.
Because
everyone's got different taste buds. I know people who love tequila.
Well, I grew up on 4X. So EB to me is a craft beer. And craft beer
Boutique,
is just,
baby.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's
that's
fucked.
fair.
I got a friend that's just, he's Smitty, I hope you listen. He's a great dude, and he'll admit it too. He's just a beer wanker. And he just loves craft beers, and he's right into it. And I hate every one of them. I don't
Do you want
like
to hear
it.
something awful that I did to one person one time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there was this like beer snob. He wouldn't drink anything but Coronas, and so one day I bought I think it was Swan Gold. I don't know. It was just the shittiest, cheapest beer that I could, and I put it into a Corona bottle. And I waited. He'd had a couple of drinks, and then I was like, so what is it you like about Coronas? And had a whole thing where I questioned him.
Yep.
I put lime in it, so it tasted it. And then he was talking about it, and then he's like, and when you take a swig, it's just so much lighter than the other ones. And he's talking about it, and I waited till he got halfway through the bottle, and then I was like, hey, just so you know, you're drinking this.
Yeah. And what did he say?
And he was like,
did he backtrack?
No, I'm not. He's like, no, he wouldn't believe me for ages.
Yeah.
And then I was like, trust me. And then I went and got another Corona out of the fridge and had to put them side by side to be like, look at the color difference. And he was like, fuck you.
That's
and I was
awesome.
like, suck a dick. He had no idea. And I'm like, trust me, you get something that's fairly a light-ish looking beer. Obviously it wasn't going to work with Guinness. Put some lemon in it. No idea.
That's
anyway.
funny.
Yeah, so that was one of my mean girls things. I'm not really a mean person, but that, how there's occasionally you come across one person and something just, you just kind of want to teach them a little lesson. That was what I did.
There's a lot of those people. I remember once seeing a clip where people went around and they had the Bible in a Quran cover, and they were reading out things from what people thought was the Quran and saying, how horrible is this?
Oh my God.
And they're like, this is disgusting. They should ban this religion, blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, what do you think the difference is between Islam and Christianity? Well, it's just more progressive and it's not quite as brutal. And then they take the cover off and say, that's from the Bible. And
oh, I like it.
People just haven't read enough of the Bible. Because I was in a speaking in tongues church.
Yeah.
For a long time. Oh, probably 4.
Me too. I grew up in hell churchy.
What brand?
What brand? It was just Christian.
Pentecostal? Was there speaking in tongues and shit?
No, there wasn't that.
Okay.
That's you got a whole nother thing going there.
Yeah.
But I took a picture of something the other day because I really liked it. I'm gonna find it. It was of out the front of a church.
Yeah.
And now I'm not gonna find it. Where are you at?
I love that the best the church people have come up with about the plebiscite is...
Here it is. I'll let you read it out. This is what...
All right. Sunday, God's promise to Abraham and his seed.
I know. So
Awesome.
I sent it to my friends and I was like, I wonder what God promised his seed. Next time, it's not going to be in a sock.
And so...
Abraham, God's promise to Abraham and his seed.
And his cum.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. This is also the guy that cut the end of his dick off because God told him to.
Was that Abraham?
Was it Abraham or Moses?
I can't remember.
I'm blanking now. I was such a Jesus freak. I'm ashamed of myself for not knowing the Bible. If you went and said to a doctor, I'm gonna cut the tip of my dick off because God's speaking to me, they put you in Greylands.
Totally.
And so they should.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just hilarious. But yeah, my church was falling on the floor, that sort of stuff.
Oh my God.
Like the touch of death, but with God.
And creepy as fuck.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It fucked my head up real bad.
Yeah, that's definitely. Again, that you came out so normal. I mean, there's a lot of that you think that it only happens in small tiny country towns in America, but we have them right here. Plenty of crazy.
Well, I was from a small country town in Queensland.
Bingo. Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was it's an interesting way to grow up. My school was year 1 to 12 and there was only 350-ish kids, and they banned Pokemon because anything that's a monster, it means pocket monster. Anything that's a monster is of the devil. And I got called into the office for talking about South Park, and they overheard us talking about porn once, and then they dragged us into the office and grilled us about that, and yeah.
Oh no.
No school dance.
No school dance? That's
Nothing.
some footloose shit.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Baby was always in a corner at my school.
Fuck.
Yeah. It was fucked. So were you involved in the goth scene just as like, what sort of music are you into?
Well, when I was in high school, I liked Metallica and Nirvana and The Doors, and then
That's almost exactly like my fiance.
Yeah. And then when I kind of shifted gears, it was probably more like, you know, I like Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, like that kind of stuff. And then if I shift gears again to like where I am now, like, I don't know, like I did like Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. Yeah, lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things.
So eclectic.
Yeah, eclectic taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
we're the
posted
same.
on my Facebook Beta Machine recently. They brought out an EP.
I don't know who that is.
They the two guys in it, they played with like Eagles of Death Metal, and they both play with like Perfect Circle now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Nice.
Check it out.
I will do. What were they called?
The Beta Machine.
The Beta Machine. Nice. It's interesting because the clothing, like the steampunk sort of thing, is so associated with that, with a specific...
With the goth stuff as well?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely. They're all like tied in together. So you kind of have like, there's like the Lolita thing, and then there's like so many different kinds of goth. Like there's that romantic kind of Victorian goth, and then there's like cyber goth, yeah. And then there's like full kind of fet goth where it's all like PVC and stuff, and
it's wonderful.
Yeah, there's like so many different shades, and like I definitely like fell into a few different categories.
Yeah.
Like one day I'd be wearing like velvet and satin, and then the next day I'd be like PVC. It's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my fiance loves that stuff, and that's how she dresses, and you know, we're both metalheads. She loves the electronic sort of what would you call it? The dark wave sort of
EDM.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. And it's interesting that there's so much of that. It doesn't really apply to the guys. Guys, it's just jeans, shorts, and a metal shirt.
You would be surprised. There are some guys who fucking go to town in there.
Yeah, I need to amend that. Not in the metal scene so much.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more
no, metal scene is literally like fucking band t-shirt, jeans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can be wearing sneakers. You could be wearing boots. What the fuck ever. You can do it. You can shave off your head. You can have long hair. Whatever you want. As long as there's a band shirt and jeans, you're good.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Going to Sin and all those things, it opened my eyes.
Suddenly there's some vests in there.
Yeah.
There's some fucking fat pants. Like,
there's some vests with the nipples cut out. And you're like, well, okay.
The one thing that irks me the absolute most is when somebody will wear something like, they'll wear like a steampunk kind of shirt, but then they'll have like fat pants with like fluoro colours, and I'm like, no, you can't mix the two, like, you know, like it's just wear all one or all the other, like you can't put them all on in the same time. That was the only thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I get it. Well, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But I do like the dedication people have to that style of clothing.
Yeah,
because I've dressed the same since I was 15, and I always will. Yeah. It's just shorts and a metal shirt.
It's who you are.
Yeah, it's being a bloke makes it a lot easier as well, because we just kind of have to turn up. There's an old joke I heard about, the difference between a guy going out on the weekend and a girl, and it was so true. You know, if you're a girl, you get your hair done and you pick out your outfit and you get all excited and you do your makeup and get in the car and off you go. And if you're a guy, you just take a shit and get in the car, preferably in that order.
I wrote a bit about that, except my thing was, what do guys do? They adjust their balls. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
they adjust and leave.
That's about it. And a nice guy will have a shower so that he at least leaves the house with clean balls before they get all smelly. And it doesn't take long. I call that gig dick.
Nice.
Something amongst all the bands that we've it's the term we've come up with is, you go there, you set your shit up, you fucking play your show, hang around all night. That's that swampiness that's going on there is gig dick, and only an asshole would subject a woman to that.
Yeah, well, and then what if you play at a festival? Then you got festival showers, like,
or no showers.
Or no shower. Yeah.
Have you been to a European festival?
No, I haven't.
Oh, so good. Except like the porta potties. Have you seen Dogma, the Kevin Smith movie?
Yeah.
The Golgothan, the shit demon.
Yes.
Okay, it's basically that. So the porta potties are just
so full.
They will literally be a foot above the rim.
Oh,
it doesn't seem possible, but things you'll see, like, because in Germany they're so sexually liberal. Mm-hmm. I saw a guy and him and his mate were naked as we were walking into the festival area, and they were sort of, pretending to be gay, joking with each other. And the girl, one of the guy's girlfriends was there, and she, that's my boyfriend. I was like, and one of the guys I was with said, you should go suck his dick. She went over, knelt down, went to do it. There's people walking past constantly.
Oh my God.
And he pushed her away and continued to play naked with his mate.
Holy
and we're just
shit.
like, wow, we're definitely in Germany. I never thought I'd see this at all.
Yeah.
And the way it played out was not the way I thought it would play out. But, you'd see the truck would come in to pick up the porta potties, and the German dudes would jump on the back and be dancing on the back of the truck as it drove around the festival area. And then by the second day...
The celebration of shit. Yeah.
I don't know why they wanted to do that, but the second day, they were still doing it, but they were all naked, dancing on the back of the shit truck.
That's crazy.
It's
They're
so
all just
good.
obviously very high.
It's just alcohol and culture.
Yeah.
The porn the porn stores over there, the front window is like porn.
Yeah.
There's no subtlety. There's no come in the back room.
In Amsterdam,
Exactly the same
went
as
to
there.
I saw a live sex show while I was there.
Me
which
too.
was very interesting and hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of Japanese businessmen in there with you? Because we did.
I don't know, but it was a full house. I thought it was weird just that it was this theatre kind of room.
Yeah.
And I was just appreciating how nice, the red
Do you remember
chairs
what
were.
you had, what your performance was?
I do.
Good,
I do very clearly.
What year was it?
It would have been...
Because I wonder if...
2001, I think.
Okay, so I was there in 2008, but I want to see if people stay in this career for that long.
Fuck, could be.
So what do you remember?
I remember there was a girl who looked surprisingly like, the blonde with short hair from, what's the American movies about the Police Academy?
Oh, yeah.
Picture that Police Academy girl with the blonde short hair. Mm-hmm. She was like the MC, if you will. She did a banana thing where she got 3 guys from the audience and they all come to bite.
I was one of those guys, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Probably
so
the
nothing,
same girl.
nothing fucking changed.
Okay.
And then there was one girl, a guy came up kind of behind her and held a knife to her throat, kind of like a fake, mugging / rape scene. But then she was all I'm into this. And then they had sex and I was like, wow, this is really...
That's fucking dark.
Yeah,
even for
totally
Amsterdam.
Dark. So they did that, and the I don't know if it was that one or a different one, but the funniest thing that had me crying to the point where I physically just stood up and walked out because I was creating a scene. They were, that song bam 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 chi bam bam bam. Okay, so they did that on a rotating. Did you have that too?
Was it a couple?
It was a couple,
and it was he was doing stunt sex.
No, this was on a rotating, it was a wheel that rotated so you could see them from every angle.
Like a Lazy Susan.
The thing
exactly. You spin the food around.
Yeah, exactly. A human lazy fuck Susan.
Yeah.
And there was so there was the guy, he was doing her from behind and they were spinning around and he was literally banging her to the beat bam, bam, bam.
Wow.
And I was fucking crying and I that was it for me. I'm you know what? I've seen what I needed to see.
Was he really ripped?
No, he was actually a skinny-ish guy.
Right.
Tall, skinny dude.
Because I just kept saying, why does this exist?
Yeah.
Why is this a thing?
And not just that, I was looking around going, hang on, is there anyone in here who's really getting off on this right now? Because I having, my friends around me and stuff as well, I'm are there people, there were single men on their own who came in on their own and I'm man, is this a thing? They're this is hot. Because I couldn't see it as anything sexual. It wasn't. Just 2 people who I was what the fuck?
It was just so funny.
Yeah.
Well, we had one half was all Kentucky people and one half was Japanese businessmen, in suits, sitting there quietly with a serial killer's stare. And they did not move. They were just... taking it all in.
Yeah, they paid their $20 on the prize.
Yeah, and I don't even think they were high. They weren't enjoying the fruits of Amsterdam's labour at all. But
actually, I think you would be incorrect. I think they were enjoying the fruits of Amsterdam labour quite a lot. But
yeah, it's an interesting place. Cool. So when do you think your next book will be out?
By December, I certainly hope so. So that's all up to. That's the frustrating part too. Is once you've done, like I've done as much as I can do. I need other people to be like, these are the things that we found. It's all full stops and paragraphs.
Yep.
So at the moment, I've got someone looking through it, and she said to me, she's like, you don't like commas much, do you? And I was like, no.
All right.
And that's all it is. So like, it's those little things that make it better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So how, with that, putting it together, and so you released the first one independently?
Yep.
So how much, did you have any experience with that side of things?
No.
Okay.
It was literally like, I want to do this. How do I do it?
Yep.
And then looked into it, and
cool.
It's easy, done. And yeah, so people can buy like the digital copy like on Amazon.
Yeah, I
or
saw
they
that.
can
That's
buy
awesome.
the hard copy from Amazon or like from my shop.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
That's really
Throw
cool.
it into the universe.
Yeah. Well, when my band started, we were from the beef capital of Australia, and the only venue that had bands come and play was owned by Lee Kernaghan, and it was also a bull ring where they did bull riding. And we played like death metal.
Fuck.
So sometimes you just
Sounds
gotta,
brutal.
you just got to make it happen. But
Yeah.
we ended up playing on the same bill as Youth Group, Kiss Chasey, Gyroscope, like so many bands we had no place being on stage with.
That's awesome.
It was funny, like we played with Kiss Chasey and the whole crowd was going, fuck Kiss Chasey, fuck Kiss. And there was about 1,000 people. It was awesome. But I was terrified that they'd never book us again because it was run by the council.
Yeah.
And they put this huge thing on, you know, where In Excess and Silverchair and all that used to play back in the day. But yeah, you're just going to make it happen.
Yeah, that's it. You got to. That's what I find hard too. Is I have no desire to be like famous. You know what I mean? There's some people who are like, I want to be known. That's not me. I don't care about that. But there's things that people need to know so that I can keep doing what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so it's like I'm learning to self promote.
Yep.
I'm trying. But
Yeah, it's hard. You feel like you're prostituting yourself.
yeah,
At least I do
definitely.
anyway.
And especially when I'm doing so many different things, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, listen to me on the radio, read my book, come to my shop, watch my like it's just it's hard work.
Yeah, I found it easy with the band. Come listen to what we created as opposed to come and watch me talk.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and listen to me. And you can't even talk. You've got to sit there quietly.
Yeah.
And you must laugh. You know? It's just such a bizarre fucking thing.
It is.
No wonder there's ego in stand-up because there has to be some level of ego to get up there in the first place.
I had somebody say to me, like, they said, oh, what was your childhood sort of like? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, standard sort of stuff. And and they said, I did say, I was like, oh, I do. My friends came in for, you know, like, I think it was for Christmas. And then they were like, they said to me, it's really funny, like, as soon as you start talking, everyone just talks straight over you. And I was like, oh, like, I guess, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's always happened, so I didn't notice before. Mm-hmm. And then someone said to me, so why did you stand up? And they were like, have you ever thought that maybe you finally got a microphone and everyone has to listen to you? And I was like, oh, fuck.
That's well put.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's, I have no idea.
It's a good observation. All right, so I'm going to just do a quick few things. It's a game I call Cunty Questions.
Oh, sounds hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, so it starts off pretty tame and then we get worse. So,
I'm ready.
First one is true or false, who is your favourite Backstreet Boy?
I've got to be honest. I don't know anybody in the Backstreet
It doesn't
Boys.
matter, it's true or false.
Okay, who is my... What?
This is...
Son of a bitch.
This is
All right,
the
I'm
point.
going to pay attention now.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Okay, good. So
Okay.
true, false.
False.
Thank you. They don't have to make sense. It's just to appease my warped mind.
Okay.
I like the fact that fucks with people's head. Those sort of
and
questions.
Not only that, now I'm like, why don't I know one of them? I feel like I should know one
I know
of
all
their
of
names.
them. AJ, Nick. Oh fuck! I know all the songs, but I've forgotten the names.
Well, I know a couple of
Yeah.
songs, but
So
not
this
their names.
this one. So there's a nuclear holocaust, and before the bomb goes off, you run into a bunker, and there's 3 men in the bunker, and you're the only 4 humans to survive.
I hope they're comedians.
No, they're not. It's worse than that. and you've got to decide whether you want to repopulate the Earth or let humanity die off, okay?
Okay.
And the people in there with you are Donald Trump,
Oh, God.
Kim Jong-un,
Oh, God.
and Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I'm never having sex again.
Okay? But who do you think you'd get to know? Who do you think you'd get
Out
friendly?
of all three?
Yeah. Donald Trump would try to fire everybody and kick him out of the...
He'd be the first. He'd be the first to rape me. I feel.
I think so.
But he'd do it in a nice way, like, you know.
Nice.
He'd be all like, I'm just gonna grab you a little bit, and I'd be like, I'm reliving, I'm living something I don't need to. Out of all of them,
Just to hang out with a buddy.
they're all such like, you know, they come across as such misogynists, every single one of them.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't view me as an equal, any of them.
Oh, they wouldn't, no.
But I'm going to go with...
But they wouldn't view each other as equals either.
I'm going to go with Donald Trump.
Really?
And you know why?
Why is that?
Okay, because I feel like I could have some fucking hilarious conversations.
You definitely
with
would.
him. Just setting him up for stuff. Just be like, yeah, hey, have you ever thought about doing, like, you know, a tutorial for your hair?
Yeah.
Because what you do with it is just so amazing. And, like, hearing
He would buy it too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
As long as you're, like, giving him a compliment.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I couldn't do Kim Jong-un because he'd want me to call him dear leader, and, you know, he just couldn't be my friend. But Vladimir Putin, I think I'd get some cool...
He'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Hearing him talk about how he... See, this is the thing. If you got Putin on side, he's I think a 6th-degree black belt in judo.
Yeah,
former
you want him
KGB
protecting
assassin.
you. Fuck yeah.
I would fuck him just to ensure my safety. Like, just because he could fuck up the other two. And
if we're talking about sheer looks.
Oh, even looks-wise, yeah, for sure. He's pretty ripped.
Yeah,
for an old
you got. I guess he'd be the one.
But I think just from a safety perspective, it's probably good to have him on side because Trump and Kim Jong-un, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to look after you.
Your reasoning is incredibly smart.
I think about these sort of weird things all the time.
And I say that because you're the only male in the room.
Thank you.
Safety first.
Yeah, I'm not going to go all Trump on you, don't worry. It's all good. So another one, you're in some sort of North Korea type situation.
Yeah.
And you got to do whatever it takes to survive, and you've got 3 options. You have to pick one of them in order to stay alive.
Okay.
So you've got to eat cat food for every single meal.
Okay.
You've got to eat cat every single meal. And you're a vegan, so...
That's going to be hard, yep.
Or you can eat whatever you want, but anytime you go to the toilet, you got to use a litter box.
Fucking litter box.
Really?
That'd be fine with
Even
me.
in public, would you take a litter box out with you?
If it was that, if I could eat anything with me rather than eat cat food or cat,
Yeah.
I would
What
totally
about
take
vegan
shit in
cat
public.
food?
I
thought that might do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe that one.
All right, that's good. All right, thanks heaps, Simone. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Cheers. All right, thanks
awesome.
everybody for listening.